This is Goku's son, DBZ, and this is technically my first normal Top 12 Sunday of 2016, though I did a special the other day for New Year's. And today I will be counting down, of course, the top 12 metal songs of the 2010s. So from 2010 to 2015. So, let's get this party started. Just felt like doing that voice again. First up, a couple of songs that didn't quite make the cut. Honorable mentions. First up, Immigrate and their song Eating You Alive from, of course, their new album, which was released last year. Disturb and their songs Hell, Asylum, Immortalized, and many other great songs from Disturb that would be on honorable mentions, as well as other songs like The Animal. And next honorable mention, Demon Hunter and their song Life War. Amon Amarth and their song Deceiver of the Gods. And also Destroyer of the Universe. Also, honorable mentions, Winter Sun and their song Death and the Healing. And last but not least of honorable mentions, Marilyn Manson, Cupid Carries a Gun, from, of course, Pale Emperor from last year. Coming in number 12, most of these songs are actually going to be 2 songs per spot, because it was too hard to choose. And this is, by the way, my own personal picks, just so you know, on this list. Coming in number 12 is a tie between 2 songs. First, from Disturb, their first major single off their new album, Immortalized, The Vengeful One, which hands down, it's already one of my top tier favorite Disturb songs. It's a little different than some of their other older stuff, but great song. The music video is awesome. Definitely had like a little bit of a comic style. It sort of felt like maybe an homage to maybe like Sin City, things like that from Frank Miller. And the other one, Vilify from Device, which of course was the side project band from David, frontman of Disturb. So yeah, number 12 goes to a song from Disturb from the new album, and also the first single off of his side project band Device, Vilify, which is a great song, I might add. And the video, it shows this woman, and which is actually David's wife in real life. So that's pretty cool. Coming in at number 11 is a tie between, first, The Game off of the first single off the last album done by DragonForce, which is a pretty good album, and all around, I'm a big fan of DragonForce. I love speed metal. It has very much an 80s feel to their music, which is one of the things I love about the band. Hands down, DragonForce is one of my favorite metal bands, probably of all time. And I just enjoy the vocals, though this was the second album with the newer frontman of the band, which sounds very, very similar to the original frontman. I think that's why they chose him. But yes, Game, awesome song. You haven't heard DragonForce or haven't heard The Game, check out the song. And by the way, no, it's not about Triple H, just so you know. And the other one tied for number 11 is from the black metal band Cradle of Filth, and the song called Lilith Immaculate. which is about this character Lilith, which of course you might have idea about if you've ever studied theology or things like ancient teachings and stuff in Judaism, like in that Lilith is believed to have been the first wife of Adam before Eve and stuff. And then like the story say of Supernatural, of course Lilith was same, but Lucifer made her the first demon, because in Supernatural demons were humans, were merely like spirits and stuff that became more powerful. Basically, just like a souped-up spirit is basically what demons more or less are. It's an interesting theory, but I'd say it's more off the demon, like myth and stuff of Lilith, is basically what this song and the album overall is about from Cradle of Filth. If I remember correctly, this album came out either 2010 or 2011. But it was a great single. It's actually the single that got me to actually check out this album. Believe it or not, prior to the album, I never listened to Cradle of Filth, but that song got me interested in the album, and then I listened to the album and checked out other albums. And now, of harder like death metal / black metal, Cradle of Filth hands down is probably my number one, possibly favorite black metal band. Most likely. Death metal, well, bands who are between Death and Viking, probably my favorite is Amon Amarth. Coming in at number 10 is a tie between two German industrial metal bands. The first is a single off their 2000, I believe, 10 album. The German band's name is Icebrecher. They originally started the actual careers of the band Icebrecher, which just came off a new album last year, which, by the way, is amazing. I just finally got to listen to the full album the other day. It's now maybe tied with Pale Emperor for being my third favorite metal album of last year. But this is an awesome song from Icebrecher. It's called Die Engel. And if you don't know German, Engel means angel, so Die Angel, more or less is the translation. It's a good song overall, and I have nothing but positive. When it comes to, say, German metal, Icebrecher is probably my second favorite metal band next to Rammstein, of course, or Rammstein, however you want to pronounce it. Tied with it is the only single that came out in the 2010s from Rammstein, which was a special exclusive song to their like greatest hits or best of collection. And that song being Mein Land from Rammstein, which they kind of try to copy a little bit in the video with the beach and tried to do a little bit of like the twist and stuff. They basically tried to copy, I guess you could say. They tried to channel their inner Beach Boys, basically. And it makes for a very funny and enjoyable music video, really. If you like Rammstein or you've never listened to German industrial metal, I highly recommend Icebrecher and the Rammstein. And check out the music video to Mein Land from Rammstein. It's great, but if you've never checked out like Icebrecher, check them out. And other bands that produce really good music from Germany is another band which some of the members of Icebrecher started before Icebrecher, called Megadeth. I highly recommend all three of those German metal bands. Okay. And next is number 9, a tie between these two particular bands. One is considered sort of a cross between heavy metal and like metalcore, I guess you could say. And the other band is a death metal band. Possibly my second or third favorite death metal band. And here are the songs. First of the two from the death metal band Arch Enemy, their song Under Black Flags We March, which was from their album Chaos Legion. Good album, Really good song. Most people tend to usually, as their favorite song from the album, usually go with No Gods, No Masters. Which is probably my second favorite song, but Under Black Flags We March hands down is my favorite song off that album from Arch Enemy. Good band, good vocalist. If understood recently, they changed female front singer, so we shall see how they sound now. But good album and a pretty good overall band. I highly recommend. They've got good riffs, good guitar work. And titled with them from the Christian heavy metal band Demon Hunter, their song Driving Nails, which is kind of reminds me a little bit, musically speaking, of this song, which is probably my second. Driving Nails is probably at least my third favorite song or fourth favorite song from the band, but it reminds me a lot of my probably number 2 favorite song from the band, which is the song called Heartstrings Come Undone, which is a great song, I might add. And if you've never heard Demon Hunter, I highly recommend you check out the band. They are I think one of the most passionate metal bands out there, because they really do show a passion. When you listen to their music, you can feel the passion they have for the enjoyment of the music. So, I really don't know anything else to say about Demon Hunter than they're a really good band, and I love that they actually put time and effort into the music, into the lyric writing. I just wish more bands would be like Demon Hunter in that aspect. Number 8 is a tie between a song from the first ever solo album from one of my favorite metal vocalists, Tim the Ripper Owens. This is a song off of his first solo album debut. Now, he's been with like 3 different metal bands, at least that I can think of. I forget the name of one of them, but the other 2 are Judas Priest for a little while there, and also Ice Earth. And the name of the song is called The Shadows Are Alive. Really good song. Of the songs off the album, it has one of the darker tones, I think, overall, with the music and style to it. Great song. Great vocal work as always. The drum work is really good on the album as a whole. The guitar work is pretty good overall. I mean, it could be better, but I have to say the drum work is some of the best drum work. He definitely did a good job of finding talent, and vocally speaking, he's one of the best metal vocalists I've ever listened to. I'd have to rank probably Tim Owens in my top 5 favorite vocalists in metal music ever. Hands down. Along with the likes of Matt Barlow, Ozzy Osbourne, Marilyn Manson, Ronnie James Dio. There's a lot of really good, talented vocalists that have been in metal music. And the other song is from the last album from Judas Priest, and that's the single Redeemer of Souls off, of course, Redeemer of Souls album. I'm not the biggest Judas Priest fan, keep in mind, but this album was good, and it really stuns me, because they're really getting up in their age, but man, the guy, I mean, he still has great vocals. When I listened to the first thing off, say, the new Megadeth album, kind of let me down, because the vocals have weakened with Dave Mustaine, but oh my word, Judas Priest still has great, strong vocals, and I really wish more metal artists and stuff would still push themselves like Judas Priest does, and like, of course, Bruce Dickinson of Iron Maiden. Both of those are definitely the 2 legendary metal bands, and they both started in the 70s, and they're still around to this day. And vocal speaking wise, they're both still strong after all these years. It's kind of insane. Coming in at number 7 is a tie between my favorite Viking/death metal band, Amon Amarth and their song from their last album, Deceiver of the Gods. The single, as Loki Falls. Hands down my favorite song off the album. I mean, the guitar work is amazing. Always good guitar solos, always good on the vocal lyrics and stuff. That's one thing. Amon Amarth has awesome lyrics to their songs, which are more or less, all their albums tend to revolve around Scandinavian mythology, usually around Thor, obviously Loki, since the song is called As Loki Falls. Also, of course, Odin. That's what I love about the band, is that it's all revolves around mythology, and I find that fascinating and awesome, given I'm big into, theology. But the air song tied at number 7 is from the band Ice Earth, and it's the first single off their 2011 album, Dystopia, which was the debut album with their current frontman, lead singer, their 5th overall vocalist, Stu Block, from Into Eternity. And the song is called Dystopia. Album overall is good, and Dystopia, the single, is just incredible. And as always, it's heavily politically driven, very strong on the political message, very anti-big government. Basically, the song revolves around don't trust always into technology. Don't trust in the government because they will abuse their power and they will spy on your life. So it's, and anybody that knows or has ever listened to interviews with John Schaefer, the lead guitarist and the one who actually writes the lyrics and writes the riffs and everything for Ice Earth, and he's the one who actually owns the copyrights to the band's name and everything. He's a very hardcore, same as Matt Barlow, former vocalist, very hardcore libertarian, which you can definitely see his libertarian points of view, politically speaking, when you actually listen to the lyrics of the songs. You understand completely what he's saying. And Stu Block just did a great job executing the song. Coming in at number 6 is between technically 2 thrash metal-ish type bands. One is a German thrash metal band, but does all their songs in English. And the other band is sort of a cross between like metalcore and thrash metal. Some say it hardcore thrash or something like that. I forget what they call it now. But that's what I think it is. Basically a cross between thrash and metalcore. And the first of the 2 songs is from, as I mentioned, the German band Primal Fear. And their song called Under the Radar. Great guitar work, great drum work, but man, the guitar work is excellent as always. The vocals are top-notch. And like Ice Earth and other bands of my favorites, their albums tend to be heavily political. Very much so. That's one thing you'll notice with a lot of, say probably at least 7 to 8 out of my top favorite metal bands, I would say 75% of all metal I listen to is political. That's because that's kind of the popular theme in a lot of metal music. But I'd rather listen to political songs than listen to stupid mainstream crap, which has been used stupid crap, auto-tune, and most of the songs always sound the same, where it's about drugs and drinking, partying, sex, bullshit like that, which I am so sick of in this. That's one thing. I could definitely do a rant video about how much I hate stupid songs that only revolve around stuff like sex and drugs. I am so sick of the bullshit in mainstream music. And please forgive me for the language. I don't normally cuss. I try to keep it G to PG rated. So, yeah. But anyways, yeah, I could go off on like an hour rant just about the mainstream music. The other song tied at number 6 technically has made it successful in the mainstream, but it's one of the only singles I really enjoy from the band. That is from the band Slipknot, and the song, I believe, from 2010, called Sacrificial, which hands down is my favorite single from the band Slipknot. I'm not a big Slipknot fan, keep in mind. I do like a few songs here and there from the band, though. I do appreciate good songs, and Sacrificial is one that did catch my attention. Coming in at number 5 is another tie. The first is the first single off the new Iron Maiden album, Book of Souls, and that being, of course, Speed of Light. Awesome music video, awesome single. Oh, now, any other way to put it, because we're talking about Iron freaking Maiden here. Basically, the greatest metal band ever. Yes, I admit, Black Sabbath is the most important band ever because they basically started metal, but come on, let's face it, people say that the torch was carried on by Metallica, which sold out to the mainstream. I disagree. I think the single most important metal band ever to metal music is Iron Maiden, hands down. But keep in mind, that's just my own personal opinion. Everybody is entitled to their own opinions. Like one of my friends once said, an opinion is like a nose. Everyone has one, which is very true. But the other one tied at number 5 is from Disturbed. It's a single off their album Asylum called Another Way to Die, which is probably in my top 3 favorite songs from Disturbed, hands down. Love the band. Love this album. Asylum is perhaps my number 2 favorite album from Disturbed. Number 1 being 10,000 Fits. Number 2, Asylum, and then probably Immortalized. But that, as always, that's just my opinion. Coming in at number 4 is another tie. From the debut album of the awesome band Ashes of Aries, front lead singer, of course, being Matt Barlow. The song is called The Messenger. Awesome song. Well done, executed guitar music. Super great drum work. I expect nothing less, though, if it's a project that Matt Barlow is involved in. Coming in, also tied at number 4, from, again, Iron Maiden. The song When the Wild Wind Blows, from their 2010 album, The Final Frontier, which is one of my favorite metal albums of all time. Possibly, now, it used to be hands down my favorite Iron Maiden album, believe it or not, but now, my favorite Iron Maiden album is neck and neck, really, between it, then probably, now, Book of Souls, and then Power Slave, for me. But love When the Wild Wind Blows, just such a great, incredible song. Coming in at number 3 is, of course, another tie. It's between my number 1 favorite song from Amon Amarth, from their 2011-2012 album, War of the Gods, the single War of the Gods. This is a song and album that got me into Amon Amarth in the first place. Just so well done. The guitar solo in the middle of the song is just great. I mean, it just blows me away how awesome this band really is. Amon Amarth, hands down, is probably one of the greatest metal bands ever. At least in the harder metal side of things, they're probably one of the greatest of all time. It's hard to believe they've been around 21 years, and they're still going strong. And tied with that is from Black Sabbath, and Black Sabbath's, of course, newer album, 13, and that being the single, God is Dead, ? God is Dead. Good song, well done, well executed. I don't think anybody, after 35 years on hiatus, no one expected Black Sabbath to come back and slam like that and blast the metal scene there, basically like to the younger mainstream type metal bands. Look, kids, this is how you do metal, is basically how I got it from Black Sabbath and Ozzy. Personally, I wish Ozzy wasn't getting ready to start working on a new solo album. I would rather him do another Black Sabbath album, personally. I would rather hear Black Sabbath than solo Ozzy anymore. I love solo Ozzy music, but I think after like 2005, his music slowly went more downhill as time progressed. And his each album, let's face it, Scream was not his best work. Coming in at number 2 is a tie between Iron Maiden and their song Empire of the Clouds, which is an 18-minute track that is just incredible and amazing. I can't praise enough this single. It just blew me away. As good as Speed of Light is, Empire of the Clouds is even greater, and it tells a really interesting story in the song. And I'll say one thing about Iron Maiden and like our bands I really like DragonForce and also other bands such as Dream Theater. If you like super quick songs like on average 4 and no more than 5 minutes, trust me, these aren't your cup of tea bands. Because you're talking an 18-minute song. You have to be a patient, someone who really enjoys instrumentals and enjoys a good story in their song. And that's what Iron Maiden did in this track, Empire of the Clouds. They did such an amazing, interesting story, so well told, and executed as always by Bruce Dickinson. But I expect nothing less from this guy. He's one of the best metal vocalists of all time, hands down. And Iron Maiden is probably the greatest metal band of all time. Though people will disagree on that. And tied with it at number 2, Demon Hunter and their amazing song, Descending Upon Us, which is about a 6-7 minute track. An incredible, well done song. I mean, I already knew that they were great, but when you listen to the opening of this song, it just keeps building. It's one of the best, I think, building openings to a song I've ever heard. I'd have to put Descending Upon Us from Demon Hunter in the higher echelon of greatest build-up openings to any song ever, along with songs like Inner Sandman by Metallica. And, oh yeah, before I mention number 1, there was one honorable mention I forgot earlier. Praise Abort by Till Lindemann from his first solo album. Number 1. First single off Ice Earth's last album from 2014. Hands down, I thought the best metal album of 2014, best single of 2014, and in my view, probably in the top 3 greatest songs ever by Ice Earth. And that is the single Plagues of Babylon. As good as Descending Upon Us is on the build-up of the song, as good as Inner Sandman is, Plagues of Babylon blows even Inner Sandman out of the water. And trust me, that's hard to say because Inner Sandman is a very impressive track and my number 1 favorite Metallica song of all time. But Plagues of Babylon just blows me away. Every time I hear it, it just gets better and better and better. Already, out of their 11 albums, I would have to put probably Plagues of Babylon at least my number 3, possibly tied for being my number 2 favorite Ice Earth album. It blows me away because I've listened to all 11 albums, and I was not expecting this kind of hard-hittingness from the album. It's just incredible. In my view, the only 2 albums that possibly are better overall is Something Wicked This Way Comes from 98 and Dark Saga from 96. But, yeah, Plagues of Babylon is an amazing track. If you like harder metal, if you like thrash metal, if you appreciate good strong political message themes, or you just enjoy really good jamming out metal, listen to this track. The guitar work is top-notch, the drums are mind-blowing, and the vocals from Stu Block just blow your mind. That's all I know how to say. But as always, this is Goku Sun DBZ. Hope you enjoyed Top 12 Metal Songs of 2010's. And I got an announcement for February. I'm going to be doing each week a special, 4-week special. It's going to be anime monster themed, which is week 1 will be top 12 Generation 1 Pokemon. Week 2 will be top 12 Digimon. Week 3 will be top 12 Generation 2 Pokemon. And week 4 will be the top 12 duel monsters from Yu-Gi-Oh! So stay tuned for that special anime theme month in February. And next week, I will be doing a special top 12 list, which is top 12 Nintendo DS games. Next week will be a special video game top 12 list, and stay tuned for that. And I wanted to show quickly some I picked up the other day. I may review in the future. I'm playing right now. First time I've ever owned the Game Boy Advance, and that is Pokemon Fire Red. It's an amazing Game Boy Advance game. Of course, it's just a enhanced remake, basically, of the original Red from, obviously, the original Game Boy. But I like it actually more because I like the coloration better. And, of course, I love that I can play it on my Nintendo DS Lite, since it's backwards compatible with Game Boy Advance games, which is awesome. But anyways, as always, Goku-san DBZ, peace out. Hopefully someday we do. Leave me a comment below, thumbs up this video, please subscribe and let us know about my channel. Follow me at twitter.com/GokuSunDBZ, as well as you can also follow me on Google Plus/GokuSunDBZ. So please just give me ideas for future top 12 list, and also for future, possibly a near future video game review. And I know I've been putting off comic book reviews. Work's been getting in the way lately, which is the reason why. So I am hoping either today or tomorrow I can at least get 2 comic book reviews finally put up, so y'all have new ones. And instead of doing 2 Star Wars like I originally was going to do, I'm going to do 1 Star Wars comic book review, and I'm going to do a special Marvel comic book review since it just came out this past week. Issue 2 of Drex. Of course, main writer on it, CM Punk Phil Brooks. So, I'll see you all next time here in YouTube land, and have, of course, a good 2016.